Hello everybody, my name is mehappydude and welcome back to Endless Space 2. Now, in the last Endless Space 2 video I made, I demonstrated how to use fighter squadrons in command modules within ships, and I said in that video that I would do a video displaying like the best fighter and bomber build that you could ever have and see what it did. And so I, after taking a break for far too long because I got busy with writing and work and things, I jumped back into the game and launched Endless Space 2 with the Sandbox mod. If you have not downloaded the Sandbox mod from the Steam Workshop, I suggest you do it. It lets you play with all the fun little gizmos that maybe you've never experimented when you're doing just vanilla game mode. But as you can see here, I've got the first Burning Horde, and this is a fleet with 48 out of 53 command points, and it has a lot of carriers. There are 4 carriers comprised solely of fighter squadrons, meaning each of these ships has 4 advanced fighter squadron modules on them, and then 4 with bomber modules. So that is a lot of ships. I think that's 8 per 16 fighters for each of the carriers, and then 8 bombers for each of the bomber carriers. And the ships don't have any weapons. So the carriers themselves are completely defenseless. The only thing they have to fight with are the fighters and bombers that they're carrying. And so I thought, hey, why not just build up a huge Craver fleet with no weapons other than the weapons on the fighters and the bombers and see what we can do with it. So this game is at the hardest difficulty setting. I've given the enemy AI until turn 44 to prepare. They really haven't done great because, you know, this is basically on cheat difficulty, so you can see within 44 turns my spheres of influence has almost absorbed the entire galaxy. They've got a couple of people here at Zubin, and then at Tekal, and their home civilization appears to be located just in this cluster right over here. I will go ahead and fly this fleet over there, and we'll see what fights we can get into, and maybe just experiment with the fun of having all these fighters and bombers and carriers and things. Okay, so this is a total of, oh boy, let me count them out. So it's 32, so 64 fighters, and we've got about 32 bombers. So 32 bombers, 64 fighter planes going in on this. We're in turtle, so the hull plating absorbs more. They're in barrage fire, so long range deals more damage to us. We've got 3 lanes of fighters going in. They've got just 1 that's defending. I'm very interested to see how this goes. This is just a demonstration of the upper limits that you can reach with the fighters and bombers. These are not meant to be sustainable ships. They're not meant to be realistic ship designs. They are just meant to be like demonstrations, basically. This is a tech demo for what the fighters can do. Oh man, this, if you haven't tried before, just go into a fight and then pause the game and look at it from a bunch of different angles. It's really sweet. Anyway, let's go ahead and slowly play it. I wish, is there a slow motion option? I have not. There we go. That's an 1/8 of the speed. Oh, this is incredible. Okay, so we've got a lot of missile impacts happening here, but we have thick hull plating. I'm not really scared of what this is going to do. And you can see some of the fighters and bombers are actually starting to disengage from the ship. You can see kind of them launching here from where they were housed around the main body of the ship. You can see them coming from over here. You've got more rockets firing. We can speed it up just a little bit, just so that you can see the speed of the actual fighters. So now we're at 1 speed. Cut it down to half. So here they all come in. Let's cut it down to an 1/8 again. So you've got what looks like, I believe these are fighters. I think these are fighters. Let's pull up the scan. No, those are bombers. I've been wrong on that so many times, but these are bombers coming in here. We've got fighters, look like they're staying around the actual ship to guard it. So this is just a bombing run right now. Maybe if we follow, can we actually tag individual bombers and follow them around? I don't think so, unfortunately. We can turn the scan off just so that it's more visually pleasing. We can just follow it by hand. Sorry for the ridiculous camera angles. If the audio quality is ruffled, by the way, I need to get a mic stand. I've just got this microphone standing on a pile of books right now. I need to get my audio situation sorted out. But anyway, these actually, it is really fun just to slow this down. I wonder how many ships I could get into a battle at once and then just go in slow motion like this. Maybe that's another video I'll do, like ridiculous, the prettiest firefights or ship fights in endless space. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Okay, let's speed it up. This is at a 16th. Okay, we can take it down to 1/64th, but I'm not gonna make this video that long. Let's take it up to a half. Okay, so you got some bombers circling right here. They're gonna come around the side. I want to see what happens when they actually open fire. Okay, just increase their speed. I want to see what happens when they fire off a shot, how much damage from each of these bombers will actually do. Okay, so we're following these. So these bombers hit. And the ship is dead. The ship has been killed. So it looks like 3 pairs of bombers hit all at once. Oh, no, there's a lot. It looks like there's a lot more than 3 pairs. It looks like this entire thing is flooded with bombers. So all of our bombers collectively struck one ship, except for a lot of these, actually. I'll say a large group of bombers. Several pairs of bombers. Looks like 1, 2, 3. So there's 5 bombers right here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 bombers dealt 3,000 damage in a single hit. I'm interested to see what they will do to the bigger ships. The escort they're going to knock out no problem. But it will be interesting to observe as they attack the larger ship. So they're running away, trying to recover. That ship is already dead. This is at half speed, just for the record. Okay, they're swarming this escort. Okay, so that looked like 3 pairs of bombers. 1, 2, 3. That was 4 pairs of bombers. Let's see what the total damage of 4 advanced bombers is on an escort ship. And it's dead. Okay, so even without the other bombers attacking, and it looks like some of the fighters have broken away from the main ship. You can see them coming in here from the sides. A lot of the fighters are still hanging back with the larger fighter carriers. I should have adjusted the fighter aggression rate before I started this. But even with just 4 pairs of bombers, because the extra 4 in that bubble, they hadn't even attacked yet when the ship exploded. So 4 hits from advanced fighters was enough to take down 3,400 health. So that is a decent amount of damage every hit. And if we were fighting a larger enemy, maybe one with massive cruisers or capital ships, we'd probably have to fend with the enemy's ships as well, and the enemy's guns trying to shoot down our bombers. I will try to give the enemy all the resources they can possibly ask for, and then hope that they make some better ships. But as for right now, just 1 hit, and that escort ship is toast. Okay, now let's see them attack this other ship. Those rockets make great sound effects when you're close to them. They've got a really tiny, like it's just a line for a model for a rocket, but the effects look wonderful. The sounds are great. Sorry, I get distracted by Endless Space 2. Okay, let's speed this up. Can we track the damage that 1 attack will do? So they're kind of swarming it right now. The other cruisers died. Okay, looks like one bomb. Oh no, I think that was a torpedo actually from our hero ship because of the trail. I think that was just a torpedo, dealt 207 damage. I wish I could just track what a single bomb did. Or a single attack from one of the bombers. The fighters are getting involved now too. I'm sorry, I'm trying to analyze like what the armor penetration rate is and everything, but let's just check this. No, I fast forwarded it and I accidentally clicked fast forward and it was immediately ripped apart by 8 pairs of bombers, plus these 2 over here, plus these 2 over here. So all of our bombers and fighters just immediately murdered it. And now it's dead. Just the entire cruiser's dead. Oh, what a travesty. Okay, well, that was clearly a decisive victory. They really didn't have a fleet. And our fighters and bombers were just kind of devouring them. So I'm gonna pull our fleet back to this Lita system. I'll go ahead and end the turn there. And then send them over there. I don't care about trying to attack their little ships. What I'm going to do is go into diplomacy, talk to them, form a truce,
what do you want?
and give them like, everything that I have, essentially. Whew! Okay. I gave them, like, an extra 30 turns. I gave them all my dust multiple times, and they finally built up an army. And this army is, it's truly awful. I mean, we're here in suboptimal cruisers. I even sold some of my biggest ships on the market, hoping that the AI would buy them. It's on the hardest difficulty, and he just never purchased them, but whatever. We'll go up against this 24 command point army and see how they do. So we've got some battleships here, some cruisers, some corvettes, a lot of escorts, which are just small protector ships. So we've got a healthy mix here in the enemy's line of fire. We're just going to turtle and increase hull plating absorption on ships, and we're going to see how one hero ship and a bunch of squadron carrier ships deals with an actual army, and hopefully it'll be an actual fight instead of just a slow motion death sequence. Alright, so here's the tactical layout. We've got a group of enemies on this side, a group of enemies in the middle, a group of enemies on the far side. We've got 3 different groups of fighter and bomber carriers going out to meet them, and they're about to engage. So let's see how everything interacts with each other. It should be starting momentarily. Okay, we immediately see some fighters rush out. They have heavy rockets. Oh man, I hope the cruisers can actually survive damage, because they've got some good shields and hull plating, but I mean, they don't have any guns, so they can't fight back other than with the fighters and bombers I gave them. So, oh, it's a lot of rockets. Oh, it's a lot of them. Oh, how are they going to take it? They took, looks like a pretty decent hit to their armor, but I don't see too much damage going on right now. Do we see the bombers are starting to pull away from the carriers? Over here as well, the bombers are starting to pull away. You can see the enemy also has their version of the bomber right here, which is far inferior to ours. Look at how terrible those bombers look compared to the Craver bombers. They look like tiny, that weird Jedi Starfighter from Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, let's see how our fighters actually engage here. Let's see what they're going to do. Okay, so we've actually got a lot of bombers engaging on this side, so I'm going to pull the camera over here and reduce the speed at which everything is happening. So the enemy's been firing at our ships for a while, and they're actually starting to whittle down the health of the carrier for the bombers, number 2. And our bombers are about to engage the first attack. I don't know if it's going to be on the hero ship or their battleship, but let us slowly push it forwards. Okay, they're all bombing this battleship number 5. And they've almost immediately killed it. And it's dead. Okay, that swarm of bombers is very dangerous. Our carrier bomber is still doing pretty alright. We've got this squad of bombers again, swarming, attacking, and the battleship is dead. It's completely gone. The bombers over here look like they're taking a little bit longer to get into the action just because they're farther away. I don't actually know if bombers can engage the enemy at that range. The enemy hero ship has been completely disabled, so all the hero ships are toast. It does look like the... Oh, I hit the wrong button. It does look like the bombers are actually coming out to aid people. So the entire engagement over here... And remember, at the beginning, the power was pretty well balanced. Like, there was decent power on each side. But this group of carrier bombers and one fighter squadron completely wiped out the enemy. Let's transition over here to the 2 main battles that are left and see what's going on. We've got one of their bomber carriers has sustained some damage. It looks like... do we have one over here that's damaged as well? Doesn't look like we have one over on the right side that's damaged yet. Well, this one took a little bit of damage. So they're doing a little bit of damage to our huge carriers, but not too much. It looks like... Because this is a fighter squadron, I don't see any bombers on this side, so the bombers are probably going to be advancing to this middle section left next, because they're coming across the middle here. So let's go ahead and slow it down by half and see what they do. I'm really interested in seeing how the AI works in this situation. So we've got the bombers coming into the middle, the bombers on the left-hand side, so they actually do cross lanes, and we've got this whole... Unfortunately, I think this entire section is nothing but... Yeah, there... Oh, no, there's a fighter squadron right here, so these fighters should hopefully come out and engage the bombers so they don't just waylace lay waste. I'm confusing words. I'm sorry. I'm word drunk. I'm trying to look at the pretty pictures. So we've got this torrent of bombers coming over here. We've got the bombers in the middle about to engage, and let's see what they do. So the fighters are protecting the bombers, which is very nice. The bombers over here are starting to engage, and a single hit brings down one of the carriers easily, or one of their escort ships easily. A single attack, another escort ship down. Just with every single bomb that's dropped, or every single attack by a fleet of bombers, it looks like it's taken down in a single hit. Like, nothing has been able to withstand a single hit from all the bombers. Yet, even with this increased, the increased technology level of our new enemies, just nothing has been able to fight back against the swarm of deadly bees that's just flying around space, pelting everything. I gave these guys the technology to create carrier ships and crazy battleships. I wonder why they didn't do it. Pretty sure they regret not doing it now. Alright, so they're gonna wrap up the last of the escort ships and the last battleship, I think that is. Yeah, that just cuts straight through the shields. Now, are they gonna move on to engage the last section of enemies? They are. They're gonna try to. But I don't know if they're gonna get over here in time, actually. They're pretty far away. No, and that's a draw. So the rest of the enemies got away. That was a major victory, but it was also a draw. Just because we weren't able to finish them off in time. So placing particular squadrons, whether they're fighters or bombers, in particular lanes is a very big element of if the carriers with the fighters come out ahead in the ship battle, because the time that it takes them to cross the different lanes of combat, it can really wear that timer down. But that was a cool fight. I think that I am just going to have these guys heal up here. Alright, I've been playing quite a few turns, and the enemy AI seems to be incapable of building anything other than just these small ships, and the battleships, which we already saw, get torn apart. Maybe I'll do a longer form video where I play without mods and actually see how squadrons and fighters and bombers do against AI in the regular game, but as for the test right now, the advanced bombers and fighters seem completely destructive. You have to keep in mind that the ships that we watched them tear apart were ships that had already been given all of the technology to increase their armor to the max levels. So the ships that were blasted apart by our tiny little bombers and fighters had been maxed out. So I'm going to say for right now, they're pretty powerful. Maybe don't build an entire fleet around them like I did. But anyway, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching Endless Space 2. I'll probably be back with another video soon. I hope that you guys have a good rest of the day. This has been me, Happy Dude. This was Endless Space 2, and as always, stay happy, everybody.